What will Russia do when it can no longer provide Europe with natural gas, halting the delivery of enormous amounts of cubic meters? Tens of billions of dollars worth of damages are being accepted by Russia. And in order to continue the process, it must consume natural gas rather than exporting it to Europe. What would happen if Russia began to sell natural gas to other nations? What if Russia could just find another market to replace the European one? China steps in with a fantastic natural gas pipeline project with China in this situation. Russia has set itself up to make as much money as it did before to the construction of the Power of Siberia gas pipeline. $400 billion gas pipeline. It began with China and Russia. But what is it and how does it affect both China and Russia's future? We will discuss the Russia-China collaboration on the Power of Siberia gas pipeline project in this video. To find out the most recent work being done on this pipeline, watch the video through to the conclusion. Let's get going. China National Petroleum Corporation and Russia's state-owned gas corporation, Gazprom, jointly opened a pipeline in September 2014 with $400 set aside for the project. In a similar manner to how Nord Stream 1 and 2 transport gas from Russia to Germany, China and Russia promised to construct a pipeline that would transport gas from Siberia to China. The gas pipeline known as the Power of Siberia would link Russia and China. The project's main goal was to construct a 4,000-km pipeline that would reconnect the gas production hubs in eastern Russia with China and the Far East on an annual basis. It is rather clear why Russian Gazprom decided to purchase it and its Kut areas for natural gas. Natural gas reserves in these areas are between 1.2 trillion and 1.5 trillion cubic meters. Russia wants to provide China with natural gas from areas with a surplus of supply so that China could have consistent and reliable natural gas flowing into China day and night. China may meet all of its energy needs with the help of a pipeline with a diameter of 1.4 meters, which could transport up to 61 billion cubic meters of natural gas. The delivery of 38 billion cubic meters of natural gas each year over the next 30 years is required by Gazprom as part of a $400 billion contract with China's National Petroleum Corporation. Let's pick up where we left off in 2014 and go from there. 2019 marked the completion of the first phase of the Power of Siberia gas pipeline project. In other words, China and Russia were able to complete the construction of the first part of the pipeline in less than 5 years after the idea was initially conceived. By the year 2019, Russia was successfully supplying China with its natural gas, which was an accomplishment that had never been done before. When you get to China, the pipeline continues across China's east, passing through Beijing and Shanghai. China devised a pipeline to provide Russian natural gas to all industrial facilities and commercial districts, in addition to the first phase being finished in 2020. Additionally, the middle phase began, delivery of gas to China. The third stage, which will be finished by 2025, is where China and Russia are concentrating their efforts. It seems that decades ago, China and Russia discussed possible political cooperation. Perhaps when Russia invaded Ukraine, it was aware that it would have to stop providing natural gas to Europe. As a result, it collaborated with China, a nation that desperately needs energy. China also understood that, no matter what Russia did in the future, it had to be supported. This surprise agreement was finalized by the construction of a gas pipeline. Russia no longer has to be concerned about its natural gas supply. It can send more natural gas to China while still making the same amount of money from Europe. However, China would receive cheaper natural gas, which it cannot now obtain because of its need for a plentiful energy supply to maintain production. It is nothing less than a gift to receive natural gas from Russia. China won't have to worry about its energy requirements for the ensuing 30 years. Its factories would continue producing items for the global market. If China imports gas and oil from outside, the US and the West want to break up the lethal alliance that Russia is forming with China. Many nations now disregard the significance of this natural gas pipeline. Wind data shows that since 2019, China has only bought natural gas from Russia worth about $4 billion. Here, nations engage in deliberate thinking. They assume that China won't receive an excessive quantity of natural gas from Russia. However, the reality is that China currently doesn't need to consume Russian natural gas. When it has the resources to meet its energy needs without utilizing Russian natural gas, why should it choose the safe option? Therefore, China favors the employment of risky technologies to obtain energy in the beginning. As long as China continues to get its energy from other countries and generates it using solar panels, the Chinese government has stated that it will make efforts to lessen the quantity of gas that is imported from Russia. However, when it was no longer able to acquire energy or when it required more energy than it had previously, China would resort to the strength of Siberia, which was a gas pipeline. This pipeline is China's backup at the moment, and it helps keep Siberia's might a secret from the rest of the world. A conduit for transporting gas, since China is not now making use of the pipeline, it is not being relied upon by any nation. However, in the long run, it will stun nations such as those in the United States and Europe. That goes on beyond this point as well. While Russia is working on the construction of Nord Stream 2, after the success of Nord Stream 1, the Power of Siberia gas pipeline is also proving to be profitable. It was previously believed that a gas pipeline driven by Siberia may be an alternative to the Nord Stream project. And now Russia is asserting that Nord Stream 2 will be replaced with a gas pipeline driven by Siberia, despite previous denials to this effect. Both Russia and China have been talking about the construction of a gas pipeline to Power of Siberia for a number of years, and it appears that the two countries will soon come to an agreement on the matter. The proposed changes, on the other hand, make reference to quite impressive accomplishments. Both China and Russia are considering the possibility. A recent statement made by the Russian Minister of Energy indicated that a deal between China and Russia on the Power of Siberia will soon be signed. According to this arrangement, Russia will give China 50 billion cubic meters of natural gas annually. In addition to the 50 billion cubic meters, the supply of power coming from Siberia would include an additional 38 billion cubic tons. Even more astounding is the fact that China will not receive any of the power produced in Siberia. After passing across Siberia, it would arrive in Mongolia. After that, proceed to China. To put it another way, the gas pipeline will need to go an additional distance that is equivalent to the width of Mongolia. At some point in the future, Russia might be thinking about striking an agreement with Mongolia. Mongolia's goal would be to make the most of the opportunities that would become available as a result of the pipeline in the future. Are you aware that Russia and China already have links for the export of gas? I was wondering whether you knew this. China was looking to diversify its supply of natural gas. Therefore, Russia made an offer of a limitless supply of natural gas to China. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below using the Power of Siberia gas pipeline as your substitute for Nord Stream 1 and 2. Thanks for watching. Click on this video to watch about another shocking project.